Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have bad luck for the rest of the week. We've all heard at least a few weird stories from friends and relatives that sound too far-fetched to be true. Sure, people commonly exaggerate tales, but sometimes unbelievable incidents do happen, taking everyone by surprise. Today, we've got just some of those moments to show you, but don't take our word for it. Check the stories for yourself and be blown away. To be fair, some of them are hard to believe, even after seeing the video. And some people will still think they're fake, no matter what evidence is presented to them. Well, anyways, let's talk about 10 outlandish tales and you can decide for yourself if they're fake or real. If these moments were not filmed, no one would believe it. Part 2. Number 1. UFO falling from the sky. Pictures of UFOs have been circulating for decades prior to the internet, and since the internet, they've become ridiculously widespread. These pictures tend to divide people into two camps: those who believe UFOs are real and carry aliens who came to Earth, and those who think UFOs are either government vessels, photo glitches, hoaxes, or something else that's not real. It doesn't help that many UFO pictures are blurry, making it hard to make them out clearly. But we did find one video of an unknown aerial object falling to the road in broad daylight. The video was filmed from the driver's point of view and looks like it might be in India. Out of nowhere, a big object falls right in front of the SUV. The SUV narrowly escapes impacting the object as it crashed only a few meters away. Upon impacting the earth, chunks of the circular object broke apart. The driver was understandably stunned. Of course, he got out of his SUV to examine the debris. Number 2. Flying car. Since childhood, we've heard and dreamed about flying cars becoming a reality. It turns out that they already exist, just not in the way we imagined. We're talking about the race cars that went flying due to their extreme speed and aerodynamic design. In particular, Peter Dumbreck's Mercedes CLR in the 1999 Le Mans race. Seemingly out of nowhere, the car's front rose well above the rear, and then the entire car took off into the air, flipping multiple times prior to crash landing in some wood. Though the impact was significant, luckily, the driver suffered no severe injuries. The design choices Mercedes made to make the car maintain a higher speed in straight lines clearly backfired. In fact, it backfired so hard that Mercedes pulled all its cars from the race and has never returned to the Le Mans until now. Number 3. Plane flying very close to tornado. From an airplane window, a person can take some pretty cool shots of clouds, sunsets, and even rainbows. But David Evans managed to film an occurrence that is arguably far more interesting than any majestic shot when he was flying between Minco and Tuttle, Oklahoma. He filmed a tornado that had formed pretty close to the airplane. The thin, small tornado came from the clouds, but didn't touch the ground. Visibly excited, he made sure to get himself in the video while he was in the cockpit. The fields of green and brown made the scene rather beautiful, albeit a bit frightening. As guessed, the video went viral on Twitter, amassing 1 million views. Number 4. Spiders take over in Australia. Australia is famous for, or rather infamous for, its extreme wildlife. It's inhabited by some of the weirdest, wackiest, and threatening animals on Earth, such as venomous snakes, reptiles, and insects. The kinds of things that occur there in nature would probably seem like a nightmare for people living in more tame environments. In June 14, 2021, a video shows the aftermath of a flood in Australia, in which an uncountable number of spiders in Gippsland, Victoria, covered a vast surface with their webs. Gross! The spiders were seeking refuge from the floodwaters, taking to high ground for safety. They absolutely covered vegetation and signboards on roads with their webs, causing the gossamer effect. The translucent silk blanket swayed in the wind, providing shelter for the arachnids. From a distance, it's hard to tell what the stuff is. It looks weird and creepy, and no doubt, some ignorant passerby who may want to investigate would get the shock of their life. Number 5. Robber passes through the barred window. Yes, stealing may be a crime, but arguably it requires cleverness, skill, and patience. and, in this instance, a thin body. In a video of unknown origin, a thief demonstrated how he broke into a house to burglarize it. As is expected, he didn't break or pick locks or cut a circle out of a window. All he did was go through the window. Sounds straightforward, but doing so is always a challenge, to say the least. It's hard enough to believe a little child could pass through, but he was quite thin and so used his figure to his advantage. First, he put his legs inside, then he entered sideways, aligned diagonally. And all of this was accomplished in just a minute, without making any noise. Really? Why didn't he choose a career in escapology, like Harry Houdini, instead of burglary and theft? Number 6. Chinese woman's trick shot. This Chinese lady performed a feat at pool so impressive that it surely made even the most professional pool players nervous. It's a super lucky thing a camera captured it too, because no one would ever believe this happened without proof. She sent not 3, not 5, but all the balls on the board into the pockets with one shot. Her friend, who saw it all, dropped his jaw in amazement. This happened on April 8, 2018 in Shenzhen City, Guangdong Province. Heibi had reportedly only been playing pool for 3 years too. In addition to that, what makes this feat so ridiculous is that all the balls went into the pocket from her single shot. This means her shot had to be incredibly precise, as it's near impossible to prevent the balls from rolling in wrong directions. Number 7. Sunglasses returning to paraglider. When Tuba Torkseve went paragliding off a beach area and went gliding over the blue sea, enjoying the thrilling sport, something remarkable happened. She let out a scream when her sunglasses went flying, telling her trainer Aysen Yorkatirsi what had just happened. But at that moment, fate intervened. Her magnetic clip-on sunglasses fell into her lap from above, shocking them both. They both then burst into laughter. She and her trainer were paragliding over the resort village of Oderdeniz in the southwestern province of Muğla, Turkey. This clip was filmed in 2019, though not shared until April 2021. As you may be expecting, it quickly became immensely popular. Number 8. Bus driver saves student from accident. In April 2019, a school bus driver did something heroic by saving a young student from what would have certainly been a severe accident. The school bus came to a stop to let one of the boys out. U.S. law states it is illegal to pass a stopped school bus with the stop signs out, for vehicles behind it and for oncoming traffic. However, a passing car was driving at high speed with no regard to the school bus. As the teen descended the steps to exit the bus, the car was zooming past. Right as he was about to fully exit, the school bus driver, Samantha Call, saw the oncoming danger and dragged the boy back in. As soon as the car passed, the boy was able to safely leave. The driver's quick reaction saved the teen's life. It was all recorded on the bus camera and shared by Norwich City School District. As of this date, the heroic video has been viewed 14 million times and received praise by people all over the world. Number 9. Man proposes in the wildest way imaginable. People seem to love to get creative when it comes to marriage proposals. Understandably, it's a super special moment that may only come one time for some people. Best to make it memorable. However, staging a robbery to do so doesn't seem romantic. One fella certainly didn't want to be mainstream about it, so that's just what he did. When he and his girlfriend entered a convenience store, a pre-planned fake robbery took place. The girlfriend was, naturally, genuinely terrified of the robber, not knowing his gun was just a prop. Then, a comedic dialogue exchange happened, in which the man proposes to his girlfriend, and she says yes. While the shenanigans were rather hilarious, it was rather tone-deaf and frightening for the girlfriend. At least her fiancé later proposed more traditionally and apologized to her many times. Number 10. Revenge of a tree. As you can see, a middle-aged man set about to cut a tree branch. As is expected, he climbed a ladder, supported by an older man, and wielded an electric chainsaw to begin the cutting. A boy, presumably his son, was also present, watching in excitement. Unfortunately, things didn't play out according to plan. When the branch was cut halfway through, it snapped, falling. But after falling, it seemed to retaliate, rotating towards the man, hitting him in the head and knocking him off his ladder. Luckily, the chainsaw fell a short distance away from them all, so no one was hurt. Guess even a tree has its day. Everyone at the scene gathered around the fallen man to see if he was okay. By the looks of it, he was. There didn't appear to be any serious harm done to him. That's lucky. That is all for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Since you've watched this far, why not click on one of the 2 videos on your screen? See you there.